Hello there and welcome back to Neo Scavenger. It is the next day, in real life anyway. It is about 10 past 12 at night. I just wanted to get a video for, obviously, so I don't want to miss an upload because it's daily uploads on this channel. But yeah, last time we left off, we just got some rest at our campsite. Yeah, we had our tarp and our sleeping bag, which we are going to pick up. Now, what I really like about the tarps and stuff, you can actually reverse engineer most things in this game, so you can get all the stuff you actually used, and we can take the tarp back. There we go, and the string. Sorted. And we can't forget the sleeping bag because that's pretty important. Hopefully we'll find I think it's called a mummy sleeping bag or something. And they're like just really small sleeping bags and they're very useful, so let's keep on heading towards Detroit. There we go. Here we go, this is it, I think. As you step into a clearing, you finally see the source of that eastern glow. It's a city, larger than any you've ever seen. Skyscrapers and their bigger brothers, arcologies, stand shoulder to shoulder, casting their glitter lights into the sky. Hovering lights flit around the super towers like fireflies. A massive wall encircles their base, with iron buttresses like glowing points on a crown. And radiating out from that wall a shanty town of crumbling buildings, shack, and tarp lean-tos. Relief at the sight of civilization almost overtakes you until you realize you still have to make it there. That and scavenging promises to get a lot harder near the city, as nearby ruins will have been picked over already. Yeah, like I said in the last episode, most stuff it's not even worth looting around here because it's probably all gone. So we're actually thirsty, but we're gonna wait until we get... Here we are, this is it. This is the city. Let's step in. Bang. You hear them before you see them. People. Lots of them. Pushing branches aside, you're presented with the city you saw from afar. A hybrid between shantytown, refugee camp, and RV park skirts the massive walls to the city. Everywhere you look, people navigate the winding, muddy roads, carrying supplies, patching holes in shelters, or arguing over property. Smoke from 1,000 camp stoves and barrel fires trail upward, and the scent of cooked food elicits a gurgling from your stomach. Near an eye pays any attention to you. Just one of dozens of ragtag corpses shuffling in from the wasteland, beggars, customers, hopefuls, prey. Welcome to DMC's Sprawl. There we go, we made it. Now, the cool thing about this, you can actually sleep outside and you don't even have to make fires anymore because there's a communal trash bin that you can use to keep warm. So abandoned buildings, we can go towards the actual gate itself. Here we are. This is the gate of it, I think. Navigating the twisty maze of shacks and tarp shelters, Detroit's massive walls stand as a constant backdrop to the east. Easily half a dozen stories high and probably almost as thick, the city walls are an impressive sight to behold. Armed towers bristling with surveillance arrays stand at regular intervals, keeping watch over the sprawl, and likely the city within. Before you, giant vid screens on the three gatehouses flash instructions about pass requirements and threat levels, as flocks of people stream into and out of the gates. You take your place in the line on the right, with others entering the city. When you reach the front of the line, a sinking feeling overcomes you. Heavily armed guards in full combat armor are checking attendees with some sort of scanning device. You're pretty sure that whatever these other folks have to get in, you're missing it. When it's your turn, the guard stops you and turns to a monitor installed on the wall. A message reads, "Device not detected. Entrance denied." With efficiency and compassion of an assembly line worker, he directs you away from the line, back outside. Unfortunately, getting entrance to the city may be trickier than just showing up. Back outside, you cross the muddy square and stop to survey the area. Where do you go now? Would anyone in the sprawl know about the cryo facility? You're startled when you notice a man has been watching you. He's wearing a long brown coat and matching hat, and is leaning on a walking stick. From this distance, you can almost see the glint of his eyes below the trilby's brim, though it's probably just your imagination. He takes his time approaching you, and as he nears, you notice there's heavy, I don't know what that says, on his face. It reminds you of one of those old portraits you'd seen in a history textbook. Folks call me Hatter, he says. He says matter-of-factly, I think we may be able to help each other. Come with me. Hatter's office is in the husk of one of those flophouse hotels you'd seen crammed between the high-rises in a busy city. It even has the old marquee hanging precariously from the cornerstones. Several floors up, armed guards watch over the street from missing sections of the building. Hatter acknowledges the men at the door and leads you through a surprisingly clean lobby to an old-fashioned elevator. I have a client, he starts, pausing for the cage to rattle shut, who collects heirlooms. He speaks louder over the motor. He compensates well enough, in fact, that I'd be willing to part with a DMC visitor's pass in exchange. The elevator clunks to a halt and the door rattles open, revealing a dark room lit by video screens and old lamps. Stepping off the elevator, it feels like you've walked into a control center built into an antique store. Baubles and relics crowd the walls and tabletops, while video screens and computer consoles cast a bluish tint on a handful of armed guards. Hatter crosses the room to sit at a low, broad desk facing the elevator. There's a lake. He pulls a worn road atlas from a desk drawer, about a day's walk northwest of here. Inside a building there is a silver urn. He pages through the atlas to a map of Michigan. My guess is that you know a thing or two about getting around out there, and maybe this could be your ticket into the DMC. He pauses to look up at you. Interested? Now, okay, I have gone this far before, right? So you can decline the job, which means you can't get into the DMC, to my knowledge, like at all. You can accept it, where you have to do it, but you may die. Or you can do, if you have the trapping skill, you can actually just skip the whole mission. So we're just going to do that. I know I should probably do like the mission for the sake of the playthrough, but it's just easier. So yeah, with our trapping ability, we're going to sense that something's fishy here. Something's not quite right. So yeah, something doesn't add up. You're no seasoned mercenary, but you're sure any fixer worth his salt is going to be careful with whom he contracts for work. And a visitor's pass can't be cheap, so there's no way this is just a cakewalk test. Plus, Hatter approached you. Nobody walks into a town out of nowhere and gets that kind of welcome. Something doesn't wash here, and it's making you edgy. I don't like this, you say, stopping short of sounding threatening. Sounds like someone's trying to set me up. That gets Hatter's attention. Hear the creak of leather as a guard tenses. Oh no. He says, leaning back in his creaky chair. Turns out maybe you are worth the extra attention you seem to have garnered. He looks down at a blank spot on his desk, considering something a moment, and starts talking at it. Your, let's call him employer, had a particular interest in you. He leans forward and starts interacting with his security console, interested enough to open this earned contract with express instructions that only be assigned to you. Said I'd find you trying to enter the DMC. Said he'd front the cost of the visitor's pass if I got you to do it. He finishes a keystroke, then gestures to the wall monitors. One of the monitors switches to a view of this room, with a cycling time code in the lower corner. After a few seconds of fast forwarding, it switches to a real-time playback. There, standing where you are now, a black mass about the size of a man talks with Hatter. The detail seems to be glitchy, as if there were some dark coloured static distorting the signal, but only around the figure. What's with the censoring, you ask? Dunno, he says. Look normal in person. Must be some sort of EM interference. Electromagnetic. The discussion is short, punctuated by the figure handing Hatter a small object and leaving. As a rule, I don't disclose client info like this, he stops the video, but you seem like a decent type. More to the point, resourceful. And while money talks, I'll take a competent operative over cash any day. He reaches into a drawer and pulls out a small black wristband. The pass is yours. I'll keep my ear to the ground for any info on this Reaper fellow and let you know. And hey, he says before letting go of it, maybe you can come around again when you're looking for some work. So there we go, we have the pass, which you have to remember to pick up and put on. So we got that on our wrist, as well as our Phillip Kindred Hospital wristband. Now we can enter the gates. This is what we read before. At the front of the line, the guard motions you closer. A moment of pregnant silence precedes a satisfying chirp, and the monitor flashes. Visitor pass N6 MAA 10816 authorized. The guard ushers you forward, and you begin down a longish stretch of empty corridor lined with harsh xenon lighting. Beyond the opening at the other end, you see the throngs of activity and the flicker of busy signage eclipsed by passing people. So this is Detroit. We made it. This is a milestone in the series. We made it to Detroit. So we have a couple of things we can do here. So we've got the concrete forest apartments, where there's like a convenience store and obviously apartments. We can go to the Red Gnome, which is like a diner, so you can get something to eat. There is the health clinic, so you can like get so you can get cured from infections and stuff, and get blood transfusions, etc. So here you can actually save yourself from like septicemia and stuff, if you have the money for it, obviously. And you got the Detroit Savings Bank, which is obviously where our billing info is listed to. So I think a good place to start will be the health clinic, right? Let's see if we can get ourselves patched up. Haggary Health Clinic is a pretty busy spot. Its proximity to Gate 11 and its mercenary attitude towards clientele ensures that it has a steady stream of business from both inside the DMC and Sprawl. The Double H, as it's often called, offers a wide spectrum of health services. Those include diagnostics, cleaning and undressing of wounds, therapeutics including nanorobotic suspension treatments, and prescription drugs. There's also an on-site augmentation clinic where patients can elect for prosthetic enhancements. These highly desired services may require special permits in addition to the significant price tags. As you cross the street, you can't help noticing the activity on the rooftop. The high-pitched whine of turbines mark the coming and going of hover vehicles, spraying water from the landing pad into a fine mist that rains around the building. A large proportion of the vehicles appear to be unaffiliated private ambulance services. You huddle your shoulders against the spray and duck under the brightly lit awning. Staggered automatic doors forming a crude airlock shush open as you approach. So let's go into the Haggard Health Clinic lobby. Inside, the lobby looks a lot like any other clinic. There are banks of attached seats covering most of the floor, and counters for both receiving and dispensing pharmaceuticals. Dominating the right wall near a hallway and elevator bank is an LED sign displaying the currently served customers. Letter and number combinations update at random intervals as nurses escort patients to and from the room. You head over to the counter and get your waiting number. It isn't long before the LED logo calls your number and you're led away for a consultation. What services do you require today? So, you can get prescription painkillers, you can get sedatives, like if you have insomnia, those are good. You can get core body temperature regulation, never used that, don't know what you can get that for. Rehydration, always useful, and micronutrition, so you can get all your health and thirst back up. Full diagnostic workup, so you can get diagnosis, see if you're ill or not, to confirm what you have. You can get cleaning dressing of wounds, which is always nice. You can get antibiotics, which are super good. We're going to buy some of those in a minute, I think, after we sell some stuff. Get nanorobotic suspension treatment, which is like it basically makes your immune system better, I think, and a blood transfusion, which saves you from like septicemia and stuff, or is it cholera? I can't remember. But we actually don't need any of this, and we can't afford any of it anyway, so we're actually just gonna explore the place. So let's go upstairs to the prosthetic and augmentation procedures. Haggard Health also offers several elective procedures which involve implanting devices and replacement tissue. Before receiving any such procedure, the patient must undergo preliminary testing for eligibility, as not all patients are good candidates for synthetic implantation or augmentation surgeries. Some procedures will require additional testing and in some cases special permits or authorizations. You begin speaking with an attendant who reviews your eligibility test results. Fortunately, Initial testing seems to indicate that you're eligible for further augmentation and prosthesis. You're given a catalogue of procedures currently offered by Haggerty. So I can get an eye augmentation. So this I think will make my... So I think I chose myopia as a flaw. That'll make that better. We can get the night vision upgrade, so we don't have to use night vision goggles. We can get a telescopic upgrade, so it'll count as like a scope or binoculars, and we can just get eye surgery. That'll just make our eyes normal, basically. But we don't need any of this. Head back. How do we leave? Nope. Where is leave? There we go. Leave Havoc Hurt Health Clinic. So yeah, that's everything you can do there. Next, we can go to the Red Gnome, the Concrete Forest Apartments, or we can go to the Detroit Savings Bank. I'm going to go to the apartments for now. Arriving at Concrete Forest Apartments, you immediately see the resemblance. Towering structures stand at regular intervals like giant artificial trees. Crisscrossing laundry lines, string lights, and country code balcony modifications complete the illusion. Below the ground is an organic patchwork of community gardens and trash heaps. Dotted husks of cars and playgrounds, those who call the forest home, and those who sleep in its shadow. It feels a bit like a street fair collided with a refugee camp in the ghetto. Eek, that's a sore one. You step into the block and start looking around. There's a canteen truck strategically positioned curbside near the main walk. People are lined up at the illuminated side window, and a mixture of steam and smoke streams from its openings. Nearby, music booms from where a crowd has gathered. It's all bobbing shoulders and legs from here, but you do see a car's hatchback sticking up from near the center. One of the towers has a C-store at ground level, lonely if you're inside, but it doesn't seem to be very popular. And there's a ubiquitous knockoff vendor barking at passersby. So we can check out the canteen truck, and you can just get some food. You can check out the C-store, which is like the convenience store. Yeah, convenience store. Check out the crowd, or we can leave. So let's check out the crowd. The sidewalk is vibrating with bass as you approach, and the scene begins to make a bit more sense. A wide-body metallic red hatchback is parked near the center. Its doors and the hatch are wide open to expose an array of lights, speakers, and subs. You can almost feel the air move in time with the beat. Meanwhile, b-boys, band boys? I don't know. B-boys are taking turns mixing moves and styles both familiar and strange. It astounds you how the human body can do these things, how humans still push the boundaries of an art form older than you can imagine. The high positive energy feels so foreign after days in the wild. Everything out there seems to be forgotten in this hot bath of sound and energy. You stick around a few moments more, soaking up raw culture, then turn back to matters at hand. So we can go and check out the C-store. In major towers like this, you'll often find a convenience store on ground level, like what one would find at a gas station. It's filled with things that work in an emergency, but nothing for which you would dedicate a visit. The cramped space is filled with bottled drinks, junk foods, over-the-counter drugs, and impulse buys. Let's start shopping, see if there's anything we need. Pick up items to purchase them. You cannot sell items here, however. Yeah, I know. So let's go to the apartments. We can't afford the meat, so let's just head back. Why? So I think, yeah. Oh, whoops! Did not mean to press that. How do I go back to the map? All right. There we go. So we should probably go visit the Detroit Savings Bank. Let's go. Detroit Savings Bank turns out to be a surprisingly tricky business to find. It has a presence for certain. Self-service terminals are near ubiquitous, winking at passers-by from countertops, ad walls, and alcoves. But there's little more to see. There's a little more to these terminals than signage, lights, and a screen. There doesn't even appear to be a place to dispense cash nor insert a card. After a bit of walking though, you eventually find a Detroit Savings Bank micro branch with more than a screen. You're outside the Detroit Savings Bank's Gate 11 micro branch. A secure climate controlled booth, slightly larger than a covered bus stop, sits on the sidewalk here. It has the requisite self-serve terminal on the exterior, but looking through the transparent walls, there appears to be an actual human teller inside. So we can enter the booth, threaten the teller, wait for the teller to leave. I'm gonna enter the booth. You peel the transparent door open and step through. Inside, you're greeted with bright coloured light and dry, tepid air. The teller, a presentable-looking young woman with straight brown hair, looks up from her terminal warmly. "Hello," she says. "Is there anything with which I can assist you today?" Do we still have the bracelet? Pretend to be pretend to be a mentally retarded patient. Let's not do it. Are they all the same? It's worth 3,000. Wow. Is it all gonna? Oh, we can ask. Oh, here we go. We can ask about the Gaia's cryofacility account. You begin explaining your situation, starting with the cryofacility, your amnesia, and the clues you followed to reach this point. She feigns interest as you tell your tale, but at the first opportunity, interjects. "I'm sorry, Mr. Kindred, but do you hold an account with us?" "I think so," you consider answering, but she continues. "Or perhaps have some form of identification?" What? Oh no. Oh, I screwed that up. I screwed that up. I forgot. I didn't actually click. I just clicked confirm. Oh, I'm gonna have to wait for her to leave now, I think. Oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. Let's just wait for the teller to leave again. Let's just leave. Oh, that was stupid. Let's go to the red gnome, see if we can come back. Oh, that was dumb. I didn't know that had happened. Damn it. Right, okay. Even before entering, you get the sense that there is something unusual about the place. For one thing, despite a prodigious amount of tagging on every surface, the diner is left unmarred, as if those around here know better than to try. However, that ominous thought doesn't seem to deter anyone's hunger. A line of snakes out from a takeout window under a sign boasting real soul food, real meat. Let's enter the red gnome. Pushing through the stainless steel door, a rush of warm, greasy air fills your nose, replacing the damp coolness from outside. Your stomach irks almost instantly in anticipation of whatever you smell on the grill. The decor is somewhat less inviting, however, despite a number of lights, most of them seem incapable of dispelling the dimness in the space, and sepia-stained curio along the walls seems to capture more of the creepy awkwardness of the diner's history than nostalgia. Padded stools line the long countertop, and booths run the length of the outer wall, sporting ripped vinyl benches. A stark pattern of 1-inch tiles dots the floor. Not surprising in retrospect that the takeout line was so long. Still, an open seat and a warm meal are promised land compared to eating condensed soup in the rain. You shove your stuff into an empty booth and start paging through the laminated menu. So you can order a bunch of these, but don't have any money, so we're just gonna have to leave. I just thought maybe you aren't so hungry, you head back into the streets. Can I do this yet? I'm not gonna threaten her. Can I wait for her to leave again? That was really dumb. Okay, we've explored everything here, so let's just go outside. Now we shall end the turn, and we will go to the junk market. As you navigate the winding alleys of DMC's sprawl, you encounter a huge structure fashioned of old shipping containers. Throngs of people enter and exit the structure through a doorway on one side. Inside, you can see a thriving bazaar where people trade scavenged items in the light of 1,000 lanterns and bug zappers. The air is thick with sweat, smoke, and the smell of barbecue and spices. This is the sprawl's notorious junk market. Pick up items, purchase them, or drop them yourself. So, store policies. Yeah, that's fine. So we just go like this, and this is everything for sale. So we can sell one of our multi-tools, because we don't need it. We can sell a flashlight. We're definitely going to sell the gun, because it's useless to us. We can sell the jelly bears, we don't need them. Get $8 for them. Now, since we don't have a gun, we don't need the billets, so just give them the billets as well. We'll keep that, we'll keep that. Now there's a Yukon backpack, which is worth $50, which I think I'm gonna buy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna buy the backpack. Right, okay, so let's say I buy the backpack. We've already got. Oh yeah, well, if you've got hacking, you can put like software on the USB sticks and stuff. That'd be useful to have. It's only another $50. You can put that right around your. Can you? I thought you could put that. I think you can put a string on that. You can wear it all around your back. I think. I'm not too sure though. We've got painkillers, which we'll keep to ourselves. I don't think we need to sell or buy anything else, do we? No, we're good. Right. I think that is it. I'm just going to see if I can. No, I still can't. Okay. Well, I think that is it for this episode, guys. I've really enjoyed it. We got a lot done. We have discovered that we've actually gotten into the Detroit. We have been to the health clinics, sold some stuff. We have spoken to Hatter. And yeah, I would like to thank you guys for watching this episode of Neo Scavenger, and I'll see you all next time.